Hello, it's me, your skin. Has this ever happened to you? You finally get some free time away from work or school and you are only thinking one thing. It's time to tackle something from my backlog. It's game time, you know? Let's go pick out a game that I've been meaning to play for a while. Better yet, a game I've actually already put some time into, but a distraction happened and I just didn't get back into it. You start going through that, and then, which one do you mean, though? There's about 50 games that fit just that criteria alone. Oh, and what if you aren't even in a game-playing mood? What if you're really in a movie-watching mood? Oh, look at your Netflix back catalog. Look at what you've got on HBO Max, soon to be Max, apparently. Oh, and you just signed up for Peacock. You don't know what to watch there. Oh, and you're one of those suckers that still falls for buying physical media, the only media you actually own. And let's not forget, how about the fact that you're the only person preventing you from meeting your Goodreads goal for the year. You don't just have a backlog problem, you've got a backlog problem. And maybe you're exactly like me, and whenever you decide, no, I know exactly what I'm going to watch, or play, or read. I know exactly, it's going to be this. Then the day comes, and you suddenly start wondering maybe you should have picked something else. It's just a hassle. And you know what might just fix that? Monetizing my hobby, and also random chance. I see a lot of other videos where people will do a little roulette wheel online, you know, Wheelhouse, back when I was okay with watching Mr. Thicke's content, or just basically through wheeldecide.com. And I finally figured out what that site was. Believe it or not, searching free roulette wheel you can make yourself in Google, mostly just found phishing gambling sites. Thankfully, I clicked on none of them. I'm at least that smart. And so, let's make a little series out of this, especially to see after how does it well, and if it does it well, I'll be doing stuff like this more often, and I'll even start picking stuff way into the backlog that will take much more time. For this selection, I only picked games that I've already played parts of, so it won't be, a whole 60-hour experience that I just haven't even looked at before. And when it came to books, I just picked some really short stuff, like, some digital ebooks that I picked up and just hadn't cracked open yet. I'm also in the middle of reading Watership Down, so I'd rather finish that before I pick a real long book. But hey, if this video does pretty well, long books are going to be in the next roulette. Can you hear the people in the back? I sure can. Movies, that was pretty easy though. I just picked movies. Like what, at most they're 5 hours long? Sheesh. Wow. Well, comparing that to books and games, what a time sink. So let's dig out the roulette and look through the 21 selections that I picked from sifting through my backlogs and see what I'll be stuck with for the next few free times. Alright, so I'm sure the intro explained this concept well enough. I'm just letting you guys see what it was here, what the actual things were, because I've got to add them because I forgot one. So, no, that's not what I meant. Apply wheel changes is what I meant to hit. Okay, because I noticed some of these are a little hard to read on the spinny, so I just decided to use that as an excuse to add one more. We are at 21 possible possibilities from my combined backlogs, and I don't care about Hertz cars.
Wheel of morality, turn. Tell us the lesson that we should learn.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, you're not going to do anything other than continue watching this beautiful video and give it a like and a comment and a subscribe and go look for stuff I make you can buy. Sinbad Legend of the Seven Seas is the last hand-drawn animated film from DreamWorks before they just decided to only do CGI stuff. I grew up on this film. I managed to somehow see 2 of the DreamWorks hand-drawn animated films when I was growing up, And it wasn't the two you're thinking. It wasn't Prince of Egypt, and it wasn't Road to El Dorado. Although I believe I saw, like, a bit of it on, like, a TV airing or something. But Sinbad I grew up on. So I really wanted to go revisit it, because I know it's the least liked out of those ones, but damn it, I remember a lot from this movie, and it's like, weird and experimental, and that's kind of right up my alley.
Discord. No doubt you've seen my likeness on the temple walls.
You know, they don't do you justice.
Now, about my sea monster.
So a big problem I have with doing a movie review over here is that I tend to always just log something on the letterbox the moment I watch it. And so, as I keep saying here, if you want even more thoughts, go over to my letterbox to read the review. It's weird coming back to Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas, after all this time, because I really was pumped to watch this again, knowing it could still fall flat on its face, because it does, for quite a few people. That said, reading other people's reviews and even seeing the critical consensus of the time, people don't really hate this movie or even dislike it too much. It just kind of falls on a meh. And I mostly feel that way, but I actually really like what the film is trying to be when it thinks it's trying to be that. Sinbad feels like a movie that really should have been PG-13, and so the ways it gets watered down sometimes just kind of mess up the tone of the film, and for a film that has pretty nice atmosphere and interesting ideas for the characters and the lore, that's really sad, because there's so much here I think would be fantastic. I mean, just putting it out there, you know, the big four, as in the only four, of DreamWorks' hand-drawn animated films, there's usually not much discussion of if any of them should come back. People always just kind of look at it as that weird period of DreamWorks that we'll always be pretty fond for. But DreamWorks did become a better company after that. Like, no one's really interested in returning to the Prince of Egypt, because you can get Bible stories pretty much anywhere. And hey, there are 5 DreamWorks hand-drawn films. We just don't really talk about Joseph, King of Dreams, which is them returning to the Prince of Egypt. I feel like most people would not want a return to Road to El Dorado. I think for everybody, that film is the perfect little capsule as what it is. And Spirit did come back in name only as a CGI girl show, which, honestly, why not? You're sitting on an IP and have an idea, do it. Because that's how I feel about Sinbad. I would kind of love modern DreamWorks to take a stab at this again, because modern DreamWorks might not be scared of making a PG-13 Sinbad film, because they had the framework here, like, near perfect. It just faltered because it was being way too family-friendly. And I wouldn't even mind it being CGI, because there is a lot of CGI in this movie, and as dated as it is, considering this is a Sinbad film, so, you know, you can kind of just count it as, like, references to, like, the Ray Harryhausen effects. The monsters look good in this movie because of just how otherworldly they are, and considering they're established to be constellations given life, I'm okay with that. I would love a modern-day DreamWorks CGI Sinbad film. I mean, after all, another complaint I have is that the action scenes are kind of weak in this compared to newer DreamWorks. Take the action to something like The Bad Guys or Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and make a Sinbad film. I think that would be a new fan favorite, genuinely. As this one is, really glad I came back to it. It's been maybe way too long. Some of the movie kind of bored me. Some of the movie kind of just made me go, wow, why aren't they just doing this instead? This would be so much better. But the ending makes it all pay off. I guess I'm a sucker for that kind of storytelling. I like this movie. I rewatched Madagascar quite a few years ago, and I felt that one was like a surprisingly mediocre film that I grew up with, going back to it. So Sinbad is the DreamWorks movie I'm nostalgic for that may not hold up to what kid me thought, but it holds up better than Madagascar 1. And honestly, Madagascar 1 does have some really good bright spots, so that's not a backhanded compliment. Alright, let's move on to spin number 2 and see what I get. Well, hey, would you look at that? It's some time later, definitely, totally. I'm not doing these all the same day.
Like a circle in a spiral, like a...
Okay, apparently we're not leaving the realms of streaming, because I forgot to mention Sinbad. I was going to watch through Peacock, because I have that. We're going to watch... Not we. You aren't involved in watching these with me. I don't know why I keep saying that. Pinocchio. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. The now Academy Award for Best Animated Feature Film winner, Pinocchio. I mentioned this in the first Disney video. I read the original tale of Pinocchio, and I've watched other Pinocchio movies besides the Disney one. I really love Pinocchio. I don't know what it is. There's something about that character I love a lot. So, you know, when this was first announced so long ago, I was excited. I saw the first trailer, I was excited. Then I just did other stuff when it was out, and I just hadn't got around to it. So you can see why it had to be on this roulette wheel. So, yay! Now I have a reason to make sure I have no excuse to not finally see this movie.
Over there! What is that?
So a little peek behind the curtain before we start. If you listen to the very end credits, you'll hear why this was my reason, but for reasons I explain, I actually had to spin the wheel all in one go. And while they were all things I was looking forward to, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio was kind of like the biggest profile thing I landed on. And because of that, I decided to just watch it last. And because I've also recorded all the other sections for everything else the wheel landed on, don't worry, I'm not going to say what they were, so you can still watch the rest of the video in anticipation for what those results were. I kind of need to be brief. If you want more of an explanation, there's the Letterboxd page, where I'm going to really dive into what I think really works for this movie, and why, as someone who is a bit too easily pleased by Pinocchio, I left this film kind of wishing I liked it more. Not wishing it was better. I think the film is so well made and does a fantastic job of modernizing Pinocchio and tackling some of the subject matter that was accidentally in the original story that the other adaptations have kind of glossed over. The other adaptations focus a lot on, not telling lies and being a good, proper boy, which, hey, that was the point of the original stories, is that they were just lessons, just, hey, be better behaved. But Pinocchio himself was such a well-loved character that when Collodi decided to try to punish him by killing him, he got a lot of fan letters saying, when's the next story? I want to hear how Pinocchio finally becomes a good and real boy. So this film decides to focus on the whole, oh, Pinocchio's immortal. Let's make that the concept. And don't get me wrong, there are so many other versions of Pinocchio that deal with the whole not telling lies aspect. But yeah, it is good to have a version of the story that focuses on that bit. But I don't know, because I am a huge fan of the character Pinocchio, there's some subpar material that starred Pinocchio that I let slide as something I really heavily end up enjoying, I shouldn't defend Pinocchio and the Emperor of the Night as it is something that blatantly tried to rip off the Disney film. Pinocchio's Christmas from Rankin Bass is just a short Christmas special. But I kind of really love both those things for what they offer individually and because Pinocchio's in them. And Pinocchio is unironically one of my favorite fictional characters. There's something about his character that works really well, even if the story is a bit subpar, and no offense, the original Italian fairy tale has a lot of the bits that usually don't work for me in kind of modern fairy tales, something I've mentioned before on this channel and definitely in my Letterboxd review of certain things like Return to Oz. And that's why it is so odd to me watching this film, seeing its great artistry, that it's an incredibly well-written script, a fantastic way to modernize the story, and it feels accurate to the characters, that I'm not head over heels in love with it, because I should be. I have pretty low friggin' standards for Pinocchio-based media, and yet this is clearly one of the best versions of the tale. In a weird way, I should be the perfect person to get your opinion from when it comes to a recommendation, because I'm so easily pleased with Pinocchio. Instead, I'm going to sound like a weird sourpuss who would give the film 3.5 stars, a pretty good rating, and yet sounded disappointed, when I'm sure nearly everyone else said over the heels in love. 5 out of 5, that kind of deal. I think it's just because I'm so used to how Pinocchio usually works that I was kind of expecting more of what I'm already used to. So it's weird. I could very well actually really learn to love this film for what it does differently. And, because of that, hey, this is the Pinocchio film I can really recommend to people who don't love the source material or are tired of learning the same lessons over and over from all the different adaptations. It's an incredibly well made film. It's a disturbing in all the right ways film. I highly recommend it. And it is weird that I don't love it. If you want to hear more, read more, I got a Letterboxd review and I will be really diving into it. But like I said, the other sections ate up quite a bit of time, so let's just cut it here and say Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is way better than I will ever make it sound. And I'm fully aware of that. So those are two things that really won't take much time. Heck, I could do them the same day if I really felt like it. So let's see if number 3 will be something that eats up all my spare time. You won't see this video until October of next year.
Who's the man with the money, makes a dark day sunny? Who's the fella every day, gives a bundle away? Who's the guy with the prizes that'll light up your eyes? It's never ending, get a friend and get ready to play. Hey, 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 hey. It's...
Okay. We got ourselves a 4K Blu-ray. As I say in the beginning, I still buy physical media, and I usually don't buy movies I haven't already seen through physical media, unless it's animation, because you gotta support the medium that gets clowned on way too much by way too many people who think they're being real mature. But I love the first Punisher film with Thomas Jane. I never saw Warzone though, so when I happened to see a 4K Blu-ray in my local Best Buy, the Steelbook nonetheless, had to get it. And I can't wait to show you how that Steelbook looks, because I did nothing to it. It was beat to shit when I bought it. So I'm most of the way through the movie now. I've got about half an hour left, and I do think I have enough for concrete thoughts. If somehow in the last half hour the movie shits itself or becomes a masterpiece out of nowhere, then, hey, read the Letterboxd review and I'll put a thing of text that says, wow, for last half hour, read Letterboxd review. But so far, I do like the movie. I do like Punisher Warzone. I've heard the typical divisive opinions people have on this one. Not that the first film isn't divisive itself either. The first film was considered goofy or cheesy, and the thing is, the first Punisher film, not the first Punisher film, because Dolph Lundgren's in that one, first early 2000s Punisher film, I like quite a bit. I think genuinely it is one of the best of the early 2000s comic book movies. Like, it's not as good as the first 2 Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, not at all, yet I would call it better than the X-Men movies from around the same time. I think the Punisher just naturally transferred to that style of comic book movie better than some of the other properties, where the Punisher was always dark and gritty and bloody, which the early 2000s was weirdly ashamed of the fact that these were comic books and would like to try to be darker and grittier, so an already dark and gritty and serious and edgy source material worked good. But they could never completely shed that, and that's why early 2000s comic book movies were really goofy, but with Punisher, it just meant really, like, over-the-top action, which is great in the first film. And the second film, this one, Warzone, the action is the best part of the movie. The plot's not super intriguing, which, you know, if the plot is meant to just be serviceable to get to the next action scenes, that's fine. It would be better if the plot was much better, do not get me wrong, but at least the plot is not so bare bones or so stupid that it doesn't matter that the action scenes, like, because a bad plot would still ruin it. I don't love the side characters like I did in the first film. Has some truly weirdly remarkable side characters. Frank's neighbors, if you're familiar with that movie, they are a bit of a glue that holds the movie together. And honestly, being an origin story holds that movie together really well too, even though, origin stories, they always eat up half of the movie's runtime, and, that Punisher film does suffer from it, but it holds it together more because it actually works as build-up, and so once the movie really starts going, the movie's really good. Warzone is pretty just consistently fun, a little bit too goofy, and a little bit too, sappy. Like the subplot with the FBI agent that Frank accidentally kills and his family, it's sappy. Like, it's not done well enough to get the emotion is kind of there. Like, it was cheap enough that it kind of got me going sometimes, but for the most bit, I was just kind of rolling my eyes at how weirdly sappy it was for the rest of the tone of the movie. That said, the highlights are good. Like, I won't lie, Wayne Knight as Microchip is kind of near perfect casting. The guy who one of his most well-known roles is, you didn't say the magic word. That's the guy you want for Microchip. That makes sense. Although I won't lie, Wayne Knight's name is the first one in the opening credits, so for a split second, I pictured Wayne Knight as the Punisher, and I kinda want that movie now. But the thing that I actually think is an improvement over the first movie is I like these villains a lot more. John Travolta from the first film, and I should say it, I don't remember the character's name, I just remember it's John Travolta. In the first half of the movie, he's played pretty seriously, and then in the second half of the movie, once the Punisher starts fighting back, and Travolta's character just starts dealing with consistently losing, he starts getting angry and overacting. And I'm sorry, John Travolta is not that good of an actor in my personal opinion. So in the second half, where it's hammy and over the top, that's his acting range. It's much better there, and it fits the tone of the movie a lot better. In the first half, it feels like he's trying to play outside of his range, and it really falls flat. Versus here, it's Jigsaw, and before he becomes Jigsaw in a scene that honestly kind of feels a lot like, hey, remember Batman 1989? So many superhero movies did that. Like, that scene is verbatim stolen in so many superhero movies. Or at least it was. But even before then, he's obsessive over his looks. He's a little bit too touchy. Don't you dare talk about his brother. And that's the kind of character you need as the villain for this type of movie. I really think the villains kind of sell this movie way more than anything else. Even the action, because while the action's pretty fun, is it just me, or does it feel like this R-rated movie cuts away from its gore a couple too many times? It shows it, but then sometimes there's a quick cutaway or something. There's one scene where that's used for dramatic tension, and it's a huge spoiler around the bit where I am at right now, and I like it there. The rest of the time, it just feels like bad editing. Yeah, you remember the Ang Lee Hulk movie? I'm one of the people who defend that movie, although, granted, it's been quite a while, because I like its bombastic editing style and how it does not let up on it. That's the problem with Punisher Warzone. There's a couple shots early in the movie where it feels like it's going for that kind of editing, but it doesn't commit to it. It gives up on it pretty quickly, so it just feels like a weird stylistic change. Yeah, Punisher Warzone actually has some highs that can be pretty fun. For the most bit, pretty average movie. It's sitting between a 2.5 star and a 3 star. We'll find out by the time the movie's over. I really doubt it will be anything other than one of those two ratings. I'm assuming I liked Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio much better. You will have already known. If I did. Wow, Punisher Warzone sure was a movie that I either really enjoyed or really did not.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Huh. So my YouTube watch later is a little over 3,000 videos right now. I tackle it like every day and it still keeps getting there. But it is a backlog, so I had to count it. So I guess I'll just hit shuffle and let a few videos play and I'll tell you how those turn out. How will this work? Alright, so the way we're going to do this is I'm going to half-ass reaction video to this stuff. You're not going to listen to me react throughout all of the videos. That would be silly. I'll just do like some highlights. And now if you're wondering why everything is blurred like you're watching an adult video or something, that's just to help with the surprise, because after all, if you guys saw the first few, you might be like, oh, it might be those ones, and that doesn't seem fun. So how am I gonna keep it so it's not complete and total chaos? I will not watch any more than 5 videos. If we get videos that are of a good length, then I'll watch them, and that length is gonna be under 30 minutes, I think. If it's like an hour long, I'm just not going to watch that one. Also, I say no more than 5. If we get like 2 that are half an hour, or 3 that are like half an hour, I might stick with that 3, but it would just depend on what I get for 4, for video number 4, that kind of thing. I'm hoping for a lot of shorter videos, but even if, say, because there are like some YouTube shorts in my watch later, if it's 5 1-minute videos, it's 5 1-minute videos. I will also quickly mention the channel that I'm watching the video for, and if I actually endorse them or not. Most of these are going to be from my subscriptions, so I can talk briefly about that. The fridge just kicked on. Usually I care about that. I've had enough people say they didn't care, and it's so late in this video, I don't care. Because after all, this alone is going to be more than one recording session, because I don't want to watch more than 2 videos in one go with OBS, because OBS does sometimes crash on this computer. So yeah, no more than 5, and no long videos. I can't watch anything that's 40 minutes or more. Really, 30 minutes or more, but you know, if it's 32, we can count that as fine. And again, if it's from a channel I'm subscribed to, I'll mention why I like that channel, or even if it's like a guilty pleasure kind of thing. Let's go. Oh, 1:20. Ooh. I can't comment on this very much. This is from Novion. Novion's a content creator I do like quite a bit. He seems to not be super confident in the type of videos he produces, because he loves to just stop doing them and try something completely different, which I like his stuff fine. That's my biggest complaint, is that he seems to just get bored of himself way too quickly. In fact, yeah, looking at it, no, we can't watch this one. This is 22 minutes for a video I am going to refuse to talk over, because he unlists the old videos, and that just feels wrong, so we're gonna skip this one. Okay, this is from Cynical. Hold on. Shuffle wasn't on. This is from the Gamers Joint, another Kingdom Hearts channel. I don't watch this content as much as I used to, and to be fair, he doesn't upload as much as he used to. I'm not gonna get into it because that's his own personal issues.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Cynical, and welcome back to another video.
Alright, so today, guys, we're gonna look at this reaction video of me reacting to this guy reacting to fan-made content. He does this a lot.
Developed by a team of almost about 16 people, and the idea here is to, yes, fully recreate Kingdom Hearts 2 in the Unreal Engine form.
This is like the reverse image of that one meme.
Here is the next update. Keeping in mind that everything you guys see in these videos are a work in progress. It's
Whoa, a Kingdom Hearts thing in Agrabah? I haven't heard that one before. I know it's unfinished, but that was still really funny to just see Sora almost walking to the void. I got nothing to comment. It's just a guy talking about his experience with someone else's mod that's in progress. Yeah. I'm making stellar content by watching this. The buildings are... I'm way too easily amused. It's funny to see half of Twilight Town. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not even the biggest fan of, like, fan-made content. I think it can be cool, don't get me wrong. I got no disrespect to modders. It's a thing I could never do, and a thing I've heard people talk about and understood nothing of, so nothing but respect. I just don't care. I just had this video in because it's from a channel I'm subscribed to, and a lot of the channels I subscribe to usually an upload means it's in the watch later, unless I do watch it right then. But you know, that sometimes leads into stuff like this, and that's why the watch later is at 3,736 videos. This is video number 80. Shuffle brought us to 79 for some reason. That 79th video, I think I would have had a much better time enjoying, but like I said, I'm not going to talk over someone else's unlisted video. Like, that feels like a line. Can I just say fuck this room in particular? I have played Kingdom Hearts 2 like plenty of times, and I've played the final mix version enough times that I understand critical mode pretty well. I cannot beat this hallway on critical. I can beat the whole game on critical. I think I could even beat Sephiroth on critical. I think I have done that. I couldn't get past this fucking room. We're halfway through, everybody. You know, I gotta say one thing, and again, in no disrespect to this, I really don't care about this idea in general. Like, do we need to put Kingdom Hearts 2 into Unreal Engine, whatever the current model is? The game still looks really good. Like, every time I go back and play it, I'm one of those people, I'm a regular Pat kind of person, or a Novion kind of person, to go back to him. I like Kingdom Hearts 1 better than Kingdom Hearts 2. But every time I go back and play Kingdom Hearts 2, I'm always so surprised. With the hindsight I have now, I'm floored at how much that game accomplishes for the PlayStation 2. I feel like you could give that game fresh to anybody and say, this was a PlayStation 3, like, first year launch title, or like second year, and they would believe you. That game looks great. Like, it's a graphical upgrade from the first game, even though there wasn't that many years in between. And like, mechanics-wise, there's so much there that just slightly prettying up the graphics, it still looks great. Like, it's aged so well because it goes for stylized graphics. So I don't see the point in porting it into a new engine. It already looks fantastic. It's a damn near perfect looking game. There's a lot you can say about what it accomplishes. I do feel so. I have my criticisms. It's like a fantastic game, especially in the looks category, though. I don't see the point of this. You know, I hope this modder, like, takes this experience and does something far better than this, you know, makes their own game one day. They're clearly talented, but I can't get into this because I do not see the point. I do not see the point of making a game that already looks great, and that is readily available, too. It's not like this is like this is a game lost to time, let's try to remake it so people can play it. No, you can get this on the fucking Xbox, current Xboxes, current PlayStations, PC, and you can even play the cloud version on Switch if you hate fun. Like, I don't see the point of this. This is a huge downgrade to the original version. Like, I know it's because a lot of the houses just aren't there, but these just look stiff. Like, there's something about the art style. The art style just... Maybe I won't leave this bit in because this just feels me being harsh. I don't get it. I don't get how this allegedly looks better than the old version. I feel like some of the art style is lost when you try to modernize it. This looks weird. It looks rubbery. Like, am I crazy? This looks rubbery. Like, this totally just doesn't look like it has the feel of the game, and it also doesn't feel like feel like the feel of the movie. This just looks like a very plastic model, and it looks like you could, you know, like buy a model kit like the Beast Hall from Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Make it yourself. It's, I don't know, it's plasticine. Looks like a plate. Looks like a commemorative plate you could eat off of. I don't know. Like, again, there's clearly a lot of hard work there. I don't like this. Aesthetically, I don't like this. And it could just be because it's not done yet, which it does make me wonder why. Why are you showcasing this if it's not done? I just realized that. That's a little cheap to do that, just to be flat honest. But, Ritz Crackers, right? Ritz Crackers is in my recommended. Why is Ritz Crackers in my recommended for this mod video of Kingdom Hearts 2?
It really does take me back seeing some of these old Kingdom Hearts 2 areas in the Unreal Engine 4 looking this amazing.
But cynical, is it as amazing as a Ritz Cracker? Okay, you really should not have shown this off. Just straight up, this should not have been shown off in the video. Like, yeah, you should be able to see stuff like this when you go play the mod for yourself. But showcasing this is like, oh, look at all this cool stuff. This feels a little insincere. Like, I don't know, man. Like, maybe wait until stuff like this is done before you showcase it to be like, look at how cool this is. Oh, for Christ's sake, Sephiroth was A-posing. Pay attention to this guy, a gal, non-binary, whoever they are, redraw. It is impressive, for as much as I knock it because it's not my stylistic thing. A lot of work has clearly gone into this, and this is like not finished. This was a year ago, which, you know, considering YouTube's place of time, could have been 10 years ago, really, with how well it's good at telling you how old some videos are. I'm sure it's come a lot more way since then, unless it's been abandoned, and I doubt it's been abandoned. As for this video, I'm nothing if not humble, and even though I did kind of poo-poo it in the second half, I'm making content off of it, so I'm going to be nice and let the algorithm fave him. And the fridge just kicked off. It stopped. That is how happy the fridge is with me liking this video. Okay, so Cynical is in contact with Redraw, so all this stuff was still shown with permission, which is what I figured. He has given that stipulation before. Still think those boss enemies should not have been shown off in the video. And he also said that he's going to do constant updates about this thing. I don't remember if that happened, because after all, this video's old by this point. Still, maybe this was best until it was done, or like close to done, or just announced. If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna do it fresh, do it just announced, and then be like, we'll come back to it later when it's done. And I don't know. I just would have done this differently, is all I feel. Okay, so this was a team effort apparently, with Redraw being the leader, and so that's good enough. Still pay attention to Redraw. Now I wish I could tell you to go follow those other collaborators, but we're not being told their names right now. It could be in the description. I'll be fair about that, so you can go check this video out for yourself and check the description. But I'm not going to scroll down for any of these videos. I mean, after all, Shuffle turned itself off after I hit Shuffle once. I ain't trusting this website to be consistent if I scroll down with all the loading it would have to do. Oh, Novion, I feel so fucking bad for you. Because now I gotta skip you again because this one's 40 minutes. And this one wasn't unlisted. Everyone do yourself a favor and go to Novion's channel and watch Sonic Adventure No Death is Occasionally Scary from a year ago. It's got only got 1.2 thousand views. Bump that until it's at 10 million. I have 57 subscribers. I can get someone else's video to 10 million, I swear. Again, fucking sorry, Nova. I hate having to keep doing this to you. Oh, okay. Okay, we got a classy guy. This is Jim Gisriel. If you used to watch the Pizza Party podcast before it became whatever it's been rebranded as now, then you've heard Jim. He was everyone's favorite person on the podcast. And if so, I subscribed to him. You probably should have too. Unironically, Jim is one of my favorites movie reviewers on this website. It's nice to just have someone down to earth again, just like talking, sometimes shooting the shit, but like actually academically discussing some videos in ways that aren't like the 1 hour, 2 hour long essays, which I like the content too, don't get me wrong. It's just that's also why I like Jim. It's nice to have someone who isn't just like funny review guy and who isn't a super long video essay guy. Some weird in between of that. It's just pretty short form like 20 minutes has been sometimes, but usually his videos are like 7, 10, or 14 minutes 42 seconds long, and they're just a review. Also, when I was doing Patreon, I was a patron of his, and I highly recommend that. He treats his patrons very well, so don't just subscribe to Jim Gisriel. Give Jim Gisriel your money. He's earned it. I can wholeheartedly recommend supporting this guy. I am a huge fan of his content. So now let's watch Fear Street Part 1 and do some goofy reaction stuff to it. Wow.
Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today I'm going to talk about Fear Street Part 1, 1994. I was pleasantly surprised by this, and I would actually say it's probably the best R.L. Stine adaptation I've ever seen.
I completely forgot Fear Street was a book series. I did not read Goosebumps as a kid. I tried once and I was too scared of it. And then when I tried reading one as an adult, I thought it was just a little bit too cheesy. But yeah, Fear Street was a book series. I completely forgot about that. I've seen the second Goosebumps movie, but not the first one. I am telling you this because that's an interesting fact. See, again, this is stuff why I like Jim. He's intellectual, and he knows how to roll into a joke or a gaffe while still making it feel very natural. And I mean, I'm pretty sure his reviews are not scripted. I think he's just going off the cuff, which is someone who also just goes off the cuff because I don't like reading off of my own content. Damn it. I don't like reading off of scripts. Despite the fact I'm a writer, I don't like reading off of scripts, so I usually just go unscripted. Going unscripted is so hard to pull off with like natural charisma. So when anyone else can do it, I give them huge props because I think I can do it well. But I'll be real, I ain't half as good as some of these other people. I mean, look at this face. This is a man you should subscribe to. This one gets the like before I finish.
Scream, which influenced a whole bunch of knockoffs, which is hilarious because Scream was like a comment on something referencing a bunch of stuff, and then you got all these other movies. And I don't like any of the knockoffs. Like, I like Scream, I have some nostalgia for the sequels, but this is probably the best sort of post-Scream horror movie I've ever seen. In a lot of ways, it's one I would watch again and again.
Oh, Jim, hold on. Are you saying you don't have much reverence for the golden standard of comedy that is Scary Movie? Yeah, I don't either. Jim, there's honestly way worse things about 90s and beyond horror movies than the cast. There's a lot more things that make more modern horror not nearly as good as they used to be. And I am not a crotchety old man about any other things. Movies have definitely improved. Like, there's things done in animation now that you never would have seen decades ago. There's just subject matter that's handled with a lot more nuance. Streaming, for as many problems as it has, really shows more eclectic tastes. But damn, is horror just like popcorn roller coaster affairs, and I miss when a horror could actually be scary. I mean, okay, yes, I do agree with that. Like, casting a name instead of a performance is a thing. Not just in horror, just in general. In fact, I'm going to say it, I think comedy's the one that suffers the worst from it. I swear most comedy films these days, like, you're picking a name to put on there, not a performance. Like, a lot of comedy films feel like there isn't a character, it's just someone playing what people assume is themselves. Ugh. Again, like every decade of film and every decade of art has its ups and downs. What's great about this decade of film is different than what was great about the last decade of film, and what's bad about this decade of film is actually roughly about the same as what was bad about the last decade, and that's what the fucking problem is. They're making the same mistakes and we're just still buying into them. You guys missed this wonderful ad for Pizza Hut melts. I'm sure you've never seen this ad anywhere else on this platform. So I'm just letting you know. Pizza Hut has these melts, and there's even a new cheesesteak flavor for $6.99. Pizza. So because I did just complain how all horror feels like it's going for like popcorn roller coaster thing, I just want to say I can also enjoy horror that is just the excitement of horror, the like thrillery kind of whoa, jump out of your seat and have a good time kind of horror. I do like that. I just wish it wasn't the vast majority of horror these days. At least, mainstream horror. Underground horror is unfortunately just cheap and bad. Like, because I guess it's just easy to produce, and like, I don't know, like, a lot of them feel like scams. I just actually miss horror that was designed in mind to actually scare the audience. Like, I feel like there's two types of horror for mainstream. It's adrenaline and terror. And we don't get terror as much as we used to. We seem to only get the adrenaline excitement one, which again, there's a place for it. I just wish it wasn't like 99.99%. In fact, it doesn't even feel like there's that 0.01% of terror horror is still around at all. And everything gets resurgences, and it'll eventually come back, and I'm sure we'll come back in full force, and I'll be happy. But it's been decades. It's been decades since like a terrifying horror film has been like on the cusp of everyone's lips. Like, when was the last time like a movie like The Exorcist was the one that everyone had to go see? I mean, like, that new Evil Dead Rise film that I heard from a lot of people was like actually generally terrifying. Some people didn't like it because of that. We've gotten to the point where people don't even like those movies anymore because they're so used to the like adrenaline kind. Fucking Megan got a better reaction out of audiences than Evil Dead Rise did. And look, I didn't see either film. I am a hypocrite. I just don't go to theaters. Like, I do want to see Evil Dead Rise sometime soon. Megan, I don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. It looks like the kind of movie I got fucking bored of like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. But guess which one trended on socials? The stupid... The one that came out in January. But no, Evil Dead Rise is already forgotten because a horror movie actually scaring people, they're not used to that anymore. And I don't think they're stupid. I think they've been conditioned to forget that that's what horror is like. It's sad. Fridge turned on. Ooh, also, go check out Jim's review on Psycho Gorman. Psycho Gorman's also a very fun movie. I have seen that one. That's nice. It's weird how it's like a parody of E.T., but it's good.
Really captured that period in horror, which was not... 90s weren't a great period in horror. I'm a little surprised you'd want to set a horror movie in the 90s, because the 90s sort of sucked when it came to horror. Outside of Scream and Cube and a few outliers, it wasn't a great horror decade. But
I wasn't aware Cube was considered a good movie. I could have sworn I've heard of Cube, but I hadn't heard like anything about it. So I kind of assumed it was one of those like attention-grabbing films that people still kind of forgot about anyway. So hearing Cube is actually good. I don't know, I'm kind of interested. Oh, and since he's mentioned it 100 times, I actually haven't seen Scream. I am real sick of meta humor, and I don't know how I feel about Scream, about going to see Scream, because like, oh, cool, a movie that will not shut up about the fact it's a movie? Cool, really interested in that. Like, meta can be done so well. I've written meta, like, it can work, it's just... So anyway, Scream's great. Like, most people seem to like it. I don't know, though. I'm just hesitant. Seriously, go subscribe to Jim. His stuff is fantastic. If what little I showed of the thing didn't convince you, just seriously take my word for it. I'm going to now pause the OBS recording. Well, not pause, stop the OBS recording to make sure that all saved. And then we'll see if we can keep going, or if I should just wait until another day. Alright, I'm back. To you, it probably feels no different. In fact, it barely feels different to me. So we're at the last second of Jim's video, so we'll see who we get next, and if we actually watch that one. And boy, I hate that this section of the video is going to be like 20 minutes by itself. I know everything else before this will be notably shorter, so yeah, sorry that there's a time sink at the 4th selection. That's the problem with just hitting shuffle. And again, I couldn't have just decided only one video in the thing, because like I said, some of these are like less than a minute long. So maybe we'll shoot for 3. How's that? Let's just do 3 videos, maybe 4 if this third one is pretty short. Friggin' unlisted Novion again. Why is Shuffle in love with Novion? God damn it! Okay, at 1 minute and 25 seconds, we have the third of at least 4 videos. This is Late Night Running by The Daily Cinephile. The Daily Cinephile is the side channel to Cinephile Studios. I will look at the actual thing. He does some movie reviews. My favorite thing of his that he does is his Monday movie pickup, where he shows off things he's added to his physical media collection. It's the kind of thing I'm into, so I mostly watch him for that. In fact, his movie reviews end up going into the watch later, like all the time. But the Monday movie pickup, always there. And I'm the kind of person where if I like your content, I subscribe to your side channel, like pretty much every time. So let's hear Daily Cinephile talk about going outside at night, apparently.
Whew. Alright, right now it's going for a late night run. I think all you can... Oh, there's a light turning on.
Okay, finally I can see. Sheesh, I had to talk about two red lights. I just gotta say, it is the funniest thing to me. Like, now that I also live in an area where, like, it actually is safe to go out at night, like, you always hear the scary thing is like, oh, you gotta make sure, you gotta be careful, like, people could find you. And the reality is, what's actually more dangerous is people not seeing you. Like, you should, like, fucking send up a warning flare or whatever, because, like, getting mugged happens, obviously, but it's way more likely just to be hit by a car. So, like, definitely showcase to everybody at, like, midnight, yo, I'm here outside. Like, it's I don't know, it's just one of those things. Is he wearing fucking Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on his shirt? I don't really care for Power Rangers, so if I got the logo wrong, that's why. But it looks like fucking Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I would give him a like. Okay, no it's not, but I can't figure out what it is either. Okay, good. Paused it at, like, literally the last second. Jesus. Oh, that's an accidentally wonderfully terrifying image, so I'm going to leave it on that. I'm tempted to put that in the thumbnail. Okay. So, can I recommend The Daily Cinephile? The dude running the main channel even kind of admitted he wasn't really sure what he was getting into after he set it up, because this was supposed to be a daily vlog channel, and kind of hasn't been that. The funny thing is, though, I think I watched this more than his main channel, but I would recommend his main channel more because it's easier to just recommend like movie reviews. And again, I love the Monday movie pickup. I love that series. I do kind of get a kick out of this stuff, but I feel like daily vlog stuff is kind of a dead genre, so I don't know if I can recommend the channel. This channel. The main channel, yes. This one, I don't know. And I'll just wait here so that way this face haunts you when you try to go to sleep next time. And then we'll see where Shuffle brings us to the last video. We still don't know. We still don't know. It still wants to tell me about strawberries. Some call me Johnny. Oh, this is probably too long. Son of a... Bring me to the Some Call Me Johnny so I can then skip it because it's too long. Yep, 34 minutes. I'm sorry, but considering we're doing 4, and like I was really bored by the first one, and I don't want this to drag on too long, I'm not doing a 34-minute video. I'm sorry. If this had been the first one, yeah, absolutely. I gotta try to keep the video down, though. Skate 3 is still a masterpiece by Penguins Zero, or Moist Critical. I guess 17 minutes is long enough. Let's go! I mean, let's just get out of the way. I don't think I have to recommend Moist Critical. You're probably already subscribed. Wait. Hold on. I gotta go back. I'm sorry. And I'm gonna do it in slow-mo so I can get that image better. Moist made himself by accident. Is everyone else seeing this? Is everyone else seeing? Who's playing the game? Is it this Moist Critical or this Moist Critical? You decide. Okay, you scrolled past it again and you didn't even notice it looked like just like you, dude? Come on. People painstakingly go out of the way to make the average ones look like them. You did it on accident and didn't even notice. Okay, time to lose some gamer cred. I've never played Skate 1, 2, or 3. I hear they're great. I also never played any of the Tony Hawk's Undergrounds. The only skateboarding games I have played are Spyro 3 and Kingdom Hearts 2. I like the skateboarding in both of those games, but I don't know if I'm a fan of skateboarding games. To be fair, that remaster they did of Tony Hawk 1 and 2 looked pretty tight. Kind of wanted to get around to those for a while. No, they're not on the wheel, because I don't even have copies of them yet. I'm not going to put anything on the wheel I haven't bought yet. That's silly. Like, let's put a new house on the wheel. Why? He doesn't look like him, but the sheer anger that's coming from his pose. I fucking picture Trevor from GTA 5. Am I alone? Does anyone else see Coach Frank and for a second get confused and go, why is Trevor Phillips telling me to follow the line indicators and ollie onto the rails? Which, let's face it, is a thing he would say. What happened to his arms? Why does he look like he lost a fight with the sun?
Man, my fucking elbows, like, the bone on my elbow is about to, like, protrude through my skin. Kind of beat up.
Okay, so Charlie also pointed this out. I called him Moist a couple times because I forgot his real ass name. Why does this guy have Sonic's, like, speed rails? It's like, why? I mean, I get why, it's the follower easier, but, like, it looks like just Crest toothpaste just coming out of his board. Okay, Moist, Critical, Charlie Critical. If I look up your gamer tag and I do not see the full 1,000 gamer score for whichever one this is, Skate 3, if I don't see the full 1,000 gamer score for Skate 3, I don't know if I can stay subscribed. Like, that's just the honest truth here. When did the fridge kick off? I didn't even notice it this time. What happened to this lady? She's been absorbed into the background. Her torso is gone.
Gear Chick is missing an entire torso, just looking like Rayman out here.
Damn it, Charlie, you say the things I say, and you said them before I did, but I didn't know.
We're going deep this time. Nope. What? So close. The music is slapping. Sounds like something out of Grabbed by the Ghoulies or Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, it does kind of sound like Grabbed by the Ghoulies. What is that? Grabbing the Ghoulies was on the roulette wheel if you were paying attention, so maybe I'll finish that sometime if this series takes off. You better hit like and subscribe for possible Grabbed by the Ghoulies content. I know you really would want to see that. Everyone's favorite game. You can do this? I've seen other Skate 3 videos, I've never seen this. Dude, that was actually like fresh. Wow. Wow, I got nothing funny to say. That was awesome. Why were you just taking a picture of this guy's dick? All your base are belong to you. I'm gonna take some of you down a trip down memory lane that might not be your memories, but mine. That is a reference to a really early internet meme. Because in a very old game, I don't know if it was for early computers, like say the Commodore, or if it was like for the Genesis or the SNES. And I don't know the older consoles very well, but I want to say it has the look of like a Genesis game. There was this really poorly translated game. I even forget the name of it. And the villain of the game, because it's so poorly translated, would like kick off his plan of like where he took things over. And his messed up garbage sentence was, "All your base are belong to us."
It's you. How are you, gentlemen? All your base are belong to us.
The funny thing is, I think there's a funnier line from that game, like in that same scene where like one of the like other characters is reacting to the villain, admitting that they've taken everything over, and the way it's just the word "what." He doesn't say it. It's in response, so it should be a question, like "what?" He says it like "what?"
Someone set up us the bomb. We get signal. What?
Like it's just the word. Like it's just the statement of the word. And it sounds like they got like an actual robot to record it. They may have actually just done that, like an early like 80s, like a late 80s, like just computer, just like, we don't got time to localize this. Let's just type it in. Because they all sound like synthesized. It's bizarre. I'll look up the name of the game and show it and like show the meme. Because like, man, if you've never seen that, that's a trip. That is the weirdest damn thing. And that was also in the times of the internet where anything that was a meme became a song. So there's also like versions of it where like it did like a beat to it. Say your base belong to us. That is why it's early internet's retrospective for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and go fund my life by buying my books on Ko-fi. I lost track of that sentence. But all your base belong to us. I just realized, how lucky am I that I got Moist Critical on this roulette. Now I can put him in the thumbnail and it's not clickbait. That bush ate him. Oh, no. Oh. I was afraid I had that. I'm still have the Whopper song stuck in my head, though. You gotta give it to Burger King. They made a commercial that gets people talking about their products. That's a lot harder than you might think.
Is it working? There we go. There we go. Easy. I'm fucking cruising. Let's go.
Okay, I joked, but honestly, he's been doing a lot of achievements back to back. Is he actually going for the 1,000? Oh, okay, he's like way further away than I actually thought. Oh, that was the end. Let's pause before we even find out. Forget you saw anything. So that is this bit done. My final thoughts are, this is going to be the longest part of the video. I will try to trim it down as much as I can. And honestly, what do I recommend the most? Wasn't a fan of the Gamers Joint video. Just going to be straight up. Loved the Jim Gizzard video. The Daily Cinephile one was short and sweet. The Moist Criticals video was honestly pretty funny, and it makes me realize, yeah, Skate 3 is a game that people really like and looks really good. I just never got around to playing it, even though it's easily accessible, because I saw him use a current Xbox menu, so it's backwards compatible with devices I own. And if I'm going to recommend anybody to subscribe to, genuinely, it's going to be Novion. The dude got skipped over 3 fucking times. Shuffle was not kind to him today, based on the rules of Shuffle. Go give Novion some love. He genuinely could use it. He makes some very nice, laid-back, quiet content. It's very fun. If you want relaxed videos, they're perfect. Stuff you could fall asleep to, or listen to while you're doing your homework, or your taxes, or in a lot of Slack meetings at the office. Like, great stuff. I'm actually going to say, yeah, of everybody else, go subscribe to him. Like, genuinely. And sorry that I got 2 unlisted videos from you, and then 1 that was too long for the format. Hopefully the next time I land on Shuffle Your YouTube Watch Later, I don't have to skip you. Because something tells me I'll land on you again when it's Shuffle, but hopefully I won't have to skip you. And now let's go to the last spin to see what I've got to do next. Oh shit, I forgot to say, last spin.
Go!
Okay, I'm happy that this is how I end this off. I end this off with Cooking Mama Cookstar for the PlayStation 4. That's the copy I got. Every game that's in this list is the game that I had started, but never finished. One of them I'm near the end. Most of them I'm only a little bit of the ways in. I don't want to put any games I have not opened yet, because, as I was saying in the beginning, I want to, see if this is a viable thing for videos, and even if it isn't, for the first one, I just want stuff that theoretically wouldn't take very long. But yeah, so what does this even mean? This just means finish all the recipes on either original or vegetarian. I'm a platinum trophy kind of person, but I can't say platinum trophy for this one just because you need a second player, and this is just game backlog. So we can just say, once I have done every single recipe, that's the finish line. That is, I have finished the game. We're not looking at platinum, we're looking at finishing Cooking Mama Cookstar for the PlayStation 4. Cooking Mama Cookstar is kind of like one of those definition 6 out of 10 games. You just kind of sit back and play it, and you kind of end up thinking it's pretty fun. It will not blow you away, you won't be thinking about it when you go to sleep at night, but calling it a bad game would just be lying. At least as far as I'm concerned. I haven't played many other Cooking Mama games, so this could be like a huge step backwards for the Cooking Mama franchise. I wouldn't know. But I found it charming and cozy and kind of fun. Did the controls always work? Not particularly. Some stuff is a little bit finicky, but hey, I forgoed the idea of completing this game. I mentioned that I would not go for platinum when it comes to this spin. I would just say, platinum trophy's possible, I'll just play it normally. But when I said that, that's because of the multiplayer trophy. So I kept playing it, and I kept aiming for 3 stars on every recipe that I unlocked. And then I got lucky, and I was reading, and it turns out that the trophy I was looking at is actually for Cook Star mode. Every time you do a new recipe, you unlock the ability to play it in Cook Star mode. And it's 3 stars in Cook Star mode. That's that trophy. So once I found out I basically was actually making 0% progress on that particular trophy, I actually just played the rest of the game for fun. Platinum would not be too difficult in this game. I did play Cookstar mode once, because there is a trophy associated for that. And honestly, I barely scraped by with a 2 because the game actually surprisingly demands a lot out of you all of a sudden. And so I saw the potential headaches and went, nah, not doing it. Not doing it. And yeah, going for 100% completion of video games is very interesting. I've always held the belief that certain games, going for 100% can make your experience better. Some games are designed around a full-fledged 100% completion experience. But I've also believed that 100% completion cannot deter the enjoyment of a game, because 100% completion is always optional. I know it often doesn't feel like it for the people who have the itch. Trust me, it's usually way too hard to remind myself it's optional and I shouldn't really care. I told myself when I reached 50 platinum trophies, that would be retirement. I would just only go for the ones I actually cared about, or the ones that just naturally came across so easy. It would just be a waste of time not to. But 50 platinum trophies was during 2022, so I suddenly had more reason to spend as much time inside playing video games than ever before, so that retirement didn't happen. Hold on a second, gotta shut the fridge off. Then earlier this year being 2023, so the same year the video comes out, but maybe not the same year you watch it, because time, I hit 70. And 70 felt like it's time to take seriously what I said about when I hit 50 platinum trophies. And now I'm going to, for the rest of my life, thank Cooking Mama Cookstar for reminding me of that. Because it was Cooking Mama Cookstar, a game with a 22% completion rating on PlayStation profiles, which is made up of trophy hunters, so they usually go after them. So 22% is normal. That's a lot of people went for it over there. It's usually something I don't turn down. And I turned it down for this because just playing a mode once made me go, this would not be fun. And I actually do enjoy this game. So let's just play it the way I've been playing it. Just do all the recipes, and hey, because it didn't matter, a minor mess up didn't make me restart the recipe anymore, because that's what I had been doing when I thought that those 3 stars mattered. I actually enjoyed my time with Cooking Mama Cookstar. Great game, new. Bad game, not for me. Average game that was kind of fun to just listen to podcasts while playing, yeah. And it's the game that really told me, just play games for fun. Obviously, there's a lot in my DNA about figuring out how games work and how to best do them. I write gaming guides. It comes naturally to me, and I enjoy doing it. But I need to start getting better at realizing not every wall needs to be climbed if the wall isn't even going to be fun to climb. So hey, I'm really glad that the first game I got on these roulette wheel things was this game. A lot of others I would have just gone for Platinum for, despite saying I'll just beat it. And I wouldn't have ended up here getting the final reminder that it's time to just play games for the story or the gameplay if there's no story, and just finish them. Because that's probably about as rewarding as completing the games that did not put enough process into really rewarding you for that, or for the games where you have to engage with too many mechanics you don't even like to complete them. So yeah, that's the end. If you liked this weird little journey, subscribe. Like, obviously like the video, but subscribe. I think this is gonna be a mainstay for the channel from now on, because this is fun. It's been way too hard deciding what to do. Enough so, like, I would sometimes ask people I knew, hey, here's like a bunch of things I'm thinking about doing, like, recommend which one of them to me. And because that's so out of the blue, people wouldn't care. Or give the half-assed, well, why don't you really decide? As if I'm not fucking coming to you because I couldn't decide. So, I don't know. I think there's something here with this format. And if you think so too, give it a like, comment how many times I should do this, and hey, what did you think about any of these 5 things? Did you have pre-experience with any of them? Some of them were pretty likely. I mean, the 2022 Best Animated Feature Film was on this spin, so yeah, some of you've probably seen some of the movies, or maybe some of you played Cooking Mama, Cookstar, or heard it was the worstest game ever, because yeah, that was a thing. Like, remember when that thing, people thought it was a Bitcoin miner? That turned out to be a rumor. That was fake. Man, that game's had a weird life. Like, weirder than it probably deserved. Anyway, I'm out of here. If you want to keep watching my videos, watch whatever ones come up on the clicky-madoo. If you want to read my stuff, you can go to Ko-fi, or maybe I'll link my Amazon self-published book that I keep forgetting to talk about. And for reading my stuff for free, there's DualShockers, because I write guides there. Oh, also, when it comes to free stuff, check out my artwork over on Ko-fi, because that sometimes gets updated. Anyway, goodbye. Hey everybody, welcome back. You can hear sounds in the background because this is the end of the video, the bit that nobody watches. So the reason I spinned them all in the same day, just like a few minutes after each other, as you could tell from me joking about it, was because it said you'd have to log into Facebook to save the wheels, so I took that seriously, even though all I had to do was just bookmark this page, and now the wheel is here the next day, so I can still spin it. Are you fucking kidding me? That's what I wanted the first time! Come back next time where maybe I play Cuphead, because this spin doesn't fucking count.